Hello everyone, I'm Robin and welcome to my video, Don't Study English in Vancouver. Why am I making this video? Well, I'm making this video for my Korean students, okay? Now, I'm Canadian and I've traveled throughout Canada and I visited many of my Korean students and I saw how they studied English in Canada. And also, many of my students have gone to Canada for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years to study English and come back, and I've talked with them. So I learned a lot about studying English in Canada. And what I learned is don't study here. Vancouver and Toronto, these are the bigger cities in Canada. And I'm going to say don't study English in Vancouver and don't study English in Toronto. Because of the students that I've seen, and there's been a lot that went to Canada and studied for 6 months or a year, and they came back, I've noticed that students that studied English in Vancouver and Toronto, their English was not as good as my students that studied in smaller Canadian cities. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit of maybe why that happens. And before I talk about the why, we should understand if you plan to go to Canada, you should have a primary goal. Now up here, I have an example of 2 goals: improve my English speaking ability, have a great travel experience. Okay, both of these are good goals. There's probably other goals, but we should identify the primary goal, the first goal. And the first goal, I think, should always be number 1. When we go to Canada, we want to improve our English, okay? We want to go there for 1 year, come back, and we speak English very well. You know, it's very embarrassing if your parents spend a lot of money to send you to Canada, you go there and you come back, and there's only a little bit of improvement. So our first goal should be improve our English, so every decision we make should be to help the first goal. Of course, in Canada, wherever you go in Canada, you will have a great travel experience. So understanding our first goal, do not study English in Vancouver or Toronto. All right, we should also think about what kind of friends we want to meet in Canada. Toronto and Vancouver, they attract a lot of international students, okay? So if you go to the language school, or you're just walking around, probably you're going to meet a lot of international students. These are going to be your friends. These are possibly going to be your roommates. Again, we have some goals here. You want to go to Canada. You want to make Canadian friends, okay, to improve your English. And you want to make international friends. This is good too. But again, our primary goal should be try to make Canadian friends, okay? Again, a lot of my students, they go to Canada, they go to Vancouver for 1 year, they come back and they say, I have a lot of friends, and I ask them, well, how many Canadian friends? And no, they have no Canadian friends, okay? They have lots of new Korean friends, and they have lots of Japanese or Chinese friends. That's good, but we should try to make some Canadian friends, because this will really help improve our English. Okay. Study here. Here are some better cities: Victoria, Calgary, Edmonton, Saskatoon, Regina, Winnipeg, Ottawa. Great cities to study English. And why? Well, problem 1, there's too many Koreans in Canada. Like when I say Koreans, there's a lot of Koreans living in Canada. There's also a lot of Korean students going to Canada. And there's a lot of Korean tourists going to Canada. Now, I love Korea and I love Koreans, but if you're going to Canada to study English or practice English, you don't want to be around a lot of Koreans, because you're just going to speak Korean more than you speak English, okay? So it's very important to get away from the people who speak the same language as you, okay? It's very tempting after a long day, you're tired and you're sick of English, to go play with your Korean friends, and on the weekend, play with your Korean friends. Okay, you're not practicing your English. So here are Canadian provinces, not all the Canadian provinces. Ontario, this is the province with Toronto and Ottawa. British Columbia, Vancouver, Victoria. So Toronto, Vancouver, don't study English there. And you can see there's a lot of Koreans there. These are the Koreans that live there, Korean Canadians. And again, as I said, there's students and tourists. These are the cities I recommend: Calgary, Edmonton, Saskatoon, Regina, Winnipeg. So you can see not many Koreans there. Good chance to practice your English. All right, another problem, the language schools. Now, when you're in Korea, you probably go to the Ahakwan first, and you talk about studying English in Canada, and they might recommend Vancouver or Toronto. I hope you tell them, no, 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 I want to go to a smaller city. But when they recommend Vancouver or Toronto, they might get some incentive, something, money from Vancouver language schools and Toronto language schools. These are big language schools. They have a lot of students. They have a lot of money to try to get more students. So don't trust the Ahakwan too much, okay? And the language schools in Vancouver, Toronto, very big, very professional. And they are a problem because I put 3 reasons here. First reason, they make it too easy for students. Another reason, they steal your English-speaking experiences. I'll talk about this in a moment. And they control your money. Actually, they control your time and money. So let's go back to the stealing, language stealing. So if you go to the language school in Vancouver or Toronto, they're usually going to pick you up from the airport. They're going to help you finding housing. They help you make a bank account, and they have some weekend events for Saturday, Sunday, and they offer some class trips. And I'm going to say this is stealing your language experience. Remember, you're going to Canada to improve your English. It's very important that you struggle and have a difficult time. That is where you're learning to speak English. So, for example, if you go to make a bank account by yourself, wow, what a learning experience. You got to grow the bank account. You have to communicate what you need to the Canadian teller, and then you have a goal to accomplish. This is a really good learning experience. Not the Hagwon or the language school taking you to the bank and helping you do everything, and actually maybe you don't even speak any English. Same with the weekend and class trips. You're at the language school, you're in a class. Most of your class, especially Vancouver and Toronto, are going to be other Koreans, okay? Over 50% of your classmates are going to be other Koreans. You're going to have some international students there, probably from Asia, Japan, China, Taiwan. You might have some European students, very few European students, maybe some South American, and there's a lot of Mexican students too. Great. They're also great to improve your English, but they're controlling your time and your money by offering their programs. You go out on a trip, you're making friends and practicing English, but really your goal is to make Canadian friends and interact with Canadians. So I don't really like this system. It's okay, it's okay, it works, but I want you to try a more difficult and better way to really improve your English. All right, let's talk about Canada in a little more detail. This is Canada. I put the red pins, Vancouver, Toronto, don't go there. I recommend middle Canada, the middle area, the middle cities. So yeah, Vancouver and Victoria. Vancouver, Victoria, beautiful cities. Okay, if you go to Canada, you must visit Vancouver. There is a good reason why many Koreans go to Vancouver. It is beautiful. So spend a week traveling in Vancouver, but again, don't study English in Vancouver. Victoria, very close to Vancouver, a lot of Koreans, but a better place to help improve your English. Alberta, the province of Alberta, Calgary, Edmonton, perfect. These are perfect cities to study English, okay? There are about 1 million people each, not many Koreans, safe places. You would have a great experience in these cities. Saskatchewan, Saskatoon, Regina. I'll tell you, I had a student who went to Regina for 9 months. He said he went to Regina. There was no Koreans. He was forced. He had to make Canadian friends. He came back. His English was amazing. Okay, just 9 months in Regina. You know, he really improved his English, and he loved Regina. Of course, Regina is not a perfect city, but he had a great time there, and he made Canadian friends. Winnipeg, getting really interior in the center of Canada. Another good place to study English. I've had some students go there. It's a good place. Winnipeg. This area is, I'm not going to lie, a little bit cold. So if you do go to Winnipeg, dress warm, but that's part of the Canadian experience. This is the province of Ontario. This is where Ottawa and Toronto are. Now, before I talk about Ottawa and Toronto, I'm just going to mention the east coast of Canada. There are some places, some good places to study English, but I'm sorry, I don't have much information about these places, okay? I haven't had many students that went to study out here. I haven't traveled so much in this area. So I'm sure there's good places in Eastern Canada, but I can't really recommend them today. So I know about Central Canada very well, and I recommend this area. All right, so Ottawa, Toronto. Ottawa is the capital city of Canada. It's a beautiful city. I think it's okay to study English there, but Toronto, don't study English in Toronto. Too many Koreans in this area, and Koreatown. If you study in Toronto, most of your friends are going to be Korean, and you're eating, you know, Korean food and doing Korean activities almost every day. You know, this is not part of the Canadian experience. All right. All right. Let's do a summary of what I've been telling you. Be sincere about your goals. Remember, your goals should be improve my English. That's your first goal. Make Canadian friends. All right, so all of your decisions is focused on those things. You have to achieve those things. So do not study English in Vancouver or Toronto, okay? These are not good places to study English. They do not help your goals because there's too many Koreans in these cities. You are going to have a lot of Korean friends. You are going to go to Koreatown. You are going to be speaking more Korean than English. Don't go there. They're great places to visit, but don't study English in Vancouver. Get out of the Ahakwan language school system. This is okay at first. I can understand why people might need this, but to spend 1 year in this system where they're controlling your time and money and your selection of friends is only your classmates, you got to get away from this, all right? Be brave, be strong, you can do it. You can get out of the system and start interacting with Canadians and living in Canada. So that brings us to participate in Canadian culture. You're going to Canada, another country, to study English, but you have to participate. You have to live in Canada. So you have to do things Canadians do, and you have to join clubs and join classes, meet Canadians. All right, this is really important to improve your English. Of course, you're going to have a great experience. You do not have to go to Vancouver and Toronto to have a great experience. You can go anywhere in Canada. I promise you, you will have a great experience, okay? So this goal is very easy. So you do not have to study in Vancouver or Toronto. All right, some final words. Abroad is not the place to study. It's the place to practice, experiment with, and test your English. And you should think this way too. Korea, you go to the language school, you study from a course book, you study from a teacher. But when you go to Canada, you should get away from the teachers, get away from the course book. This is your chance to use real English in real situations. This will make your English better, all right? You will learn very fast if you start thinking this way. Get out of the classroom. All right, thank you. I hope this video helps you. And remember, don't study English in Vancouver. See you next time. If you enjoyed this video, let us know. Subscribe, like the video, and I really like it when my viewers write English comments below. Take care.